All right, here we are for our next episode of Loan Officer Freedom. Hey, I'm getting ready to interview Sue Meitner. If you don't know who Sue Meitner is, this is somebody you really want to listen to, and you're going to be hearing a lot more of. Just last year, so 2023, when many loan officers are struggling, Sue Meitner and her team closed $220 million for the year, right? Which was an increase over the year before. So a lot of loan officers and branches and branch managers are tapping out. Sue Meitner is doubling down, and at $220 million for a single year, very impressive. And so, without further ado, here's the recording I did with myself and Sue. So, Sue Meitner, it's about darn time you got on here. How you doing, my friend?
Vice versa. I'm very good. It was great seeing you at the end of last year at the awards. It was wonderful.
Where was that at? That was
It
that
was
was
in
in Detroit.
Detroit in November.
Yeah. And if I remember right, you were you what was the award that you won?
Well, Centennial Lending Group got the number one division of success, and I think I was number six in the company.
Good for you, my friend. Couldn't
Thank
happen to a nicer person.
Well, thanks. I was super excited for the team. We had four in the top seven, so that
Yeah.
I love
So
to
wait,
see.
so your team is four of the top seven in the entire company.
Yes. So I love not only for my success, but to see how people have worked so hard and like John, his goal was to be number one at success, and we worked really hard for that to happen. And I saw his dedication and hard work. Lewis, Brittany got Rookie of the Year. She was amazing. So I just really love coaching and cultivating those people and that's really what makes our division special is that we are a family.
Hey, so I need you to take your humble hat off here for a minute, all right? So this is a real question. So to have four in the top seven is impressive for one, and this is not a small company, right? So this is a good sized company. So do you have a knack for attracting top talent, or do you have a knack for turning, I'm gonna use air quotes here, normal people into top producers? So is it that you attract the right people, or that you have this ability to inspire, encourage, teach, coach, whatever, however you want to say it?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Like for your rookie of the year, I mean, here you had somebody when you say a rookie, like they've never been in the mortgage business before,
So
right?
they
Is that
started as a processor. It was their first year here with us, and they competed to have the top level of one of the new people that have been at the company for 12 months, a newer person, and so that's deemed the rookie of the year at Success. Now, that was the second time I was able to have one of our people get that. Andy got that I want to say 2020, and his receiving that award kind of changed my life. In that, when he received that, I had gone after him to get him to come with us for 9 months. I said it was harder than having a baby was to get him to come with me. And he wishes he would have come over sooner now that he realizes all the tools and the bells and the support and whistle, all the bells and whistles that we have. But to make a long story short, when he got Rookie of the Year, he came over to me and said, Sue, I'm so thankful that you made me come here and work with you because not only have you changed my life, you've changed my family's life.
Hmm.
And those words were embedded into my brain. And anytime you have like a bad day, which we all have bad days, to remember the borrower who never got into the house, who never thought they could. Remember the loan officer who just told you that not only did you change his life but his family's life.
Hmm.
They're the reasons that I do this. And yes, it fills my heart, but it also, I think it's the people who have the it factor, who are servant leaders, who want to do good for people, who just need the tools and just need the support so that they can go out and get them. And I like that I'm in it with them.
Hmm.
And that just makes me feel that we all just are rowing in the same direction. And when we feel like someone's not rowing in the same direction, we talk to them about it. But everyone has goals. I know what their goals are, and they're not my goals. They're their goals. And then we make our division's goals up based on what their goals are. So I'm just holding them accountable to their goals and what they want. And one of the things that Brittany wanted was to be rookie of the year. So we made it happen. So,
You.
and
Hey,
it was, and she was tied for it. So she definitely worked hard for it.
yeah. So let me ask you this. So you're a producing branch manager, right? You produce your own loans and you have a great team. And you operate at a high level, and apparently your team, having four in the top seven is a pretty impressive achievement. What would you say these four people have in common? Like what are the
Yeah.
what are they doing, or what are they like?
In
How
this
do
market.
you make it happen? Yeah.
Yeah, in this market. They use the tools that they're given and they use the tools that God gave them. That's what they use. They see what they are fantastic at and they know what they're not fantastic at, and what they're not fantastic at, we put people in to be fantastic in those spots, but they're
Mhm.
fantastic at seeing people get into homes. They're fantastic at educating realtors. They're fantastic at not only marketing themselves, but branding themselves. And there's a big difference between branding and marketing. They are in it for their realtors, and each one of them wake up every day saying, how can I help people? And they don't really well, one of them very much knows their numbers, but two of them are like, what are my numbers? They're just helping people and making, and they have a drive. They have a drive. They're competitors.
I have found you give me the smartest person without a why, and we're gonna have a hard time. You
Hmm.
give me anybody that's just got this burning desire, they got this huge why, and it seems like really almost nothing else matters. That if they have that burning desire, yeah. How do you so do you think people like you and me can we help people create desire? Or do you think that's, and this is a real question, or
Yeah.
do you think it's like they either have it or they don't? We can feed into it once they have it, but if you like how do you deal with low somebody that's low motivated? Does that work for you?
I don't really deal well with people who are low motivated. I sent 3 texts out today with people who are on my team who are struggling, and I was like, how can we get you off the struggle bus? Like where are you in this? When are you putting in a loan? And sometimes they just need that coming down on kind of. And in my division, you're either a producer or you're not a producer. So if you're not a producer, you need to get off,
Mhm.
because I want to give all of my attention to the people who are great at what they do. I don't think I think that, so I was never a competitor in school. I was always the BC student. In the book I wrote, I wasn't the prettiest, I wasn't the most popular, I wasn't the loudest, I wasn't the smartest, and I never was the competitor. And I wasn't a competitor in college. I did start to, we'll say, blossom in college. I did start to get my personality, which is a big personality at that. But then in the work world, I started to grow and I started to be around my tribe and people who were like minded like me, who wanted to go get it. And I didn't know I wanted to go get it. People
Mhm.
always say, well, wasn't it your dream to open up a mortgage company? No, that wasn't a dream. I just happened to walk into it and I just walked through the door and I just let it happen. And I think that people, it's not only a desire or drive, it's people who want to walk through that door and see how they can affect people's lives the most that they can. And
Mhm.
when you actually understand that and show people how they're changing people's lives, they want to do it more. They just get high on it, but then they get high on also having a strategy of doing it and wanting to do more. So I have then learned how to be the competitor through my loan officer years. I competed hard when people didn't think I could do it. I loved when people like us, I want to say, get told you can't do that, it makes people want to do it more. And I feel that's the burning desire a lot of the time with loan officers because but everybody, we all have to learn how to be a loan officer. There's no real class on it. And it's on hands, all hands on deck of learning. And it changes every day, which is why I love it so much. But I love the people, and I think that's what most of the originators who succeed love the people and love the desire of getting them into their house, and that satisfaction they feed on and they love it. And that's what I think is there's not a burning desire. I don't think you can teach that, but you can teach somebody a feeling, and that
Mm,
feeling is really cool to have. And once
mhm.
you get that feeling enough, you're like, oh, that's great. Or when you go into that real estate office that you don't want to go into and you just have to, and you have five great conversations, you feel like a total badass when you get in your car and you're driving away saying, I didn't think I was going to get anything. That builds desire because that feeling is
Mhm.
what we all love and what we all want. Or when we have a great application, or when we have a great interaction, or you have a great lunch and learn that you think was going to be a flop. It's putting yourself out there and then having that, you know, feeling. It's a great feeling. It's like dating, and which I haven't done in a really long time. This is how I have to do it in my mortgage business.
Yeah, I hear that. So, so like, let's say, like the rook of the, and I'm sorry, I didn't write. What was her name again? The rook of the
Brittany,
year?
Brittany in Florida.
Brittany. Oh, Brittany. I know Brittany.
Yeah.
All right. So Brittany, let's say when Brittany came to you, or somebody like Brit, not that there's anybody like Brittany, but somebody, an avatar like Brittany, was to come to you and say, "All right, I'm brand new," or maybe a lot of people listen to the podcast, are just getting started out, or maybe they've had a kind of a rough couple of years, and they come to you and say, "Sue, I'm joining your team, and gosh, I need to close more loans. What do I do?" What was the first instructions you gave Brittany?
Yeah, so we need to start at the beginning. So but all three of them came to me when they did 13 to 15 million dollars worth of production. They're all well into the 20, 30, 50 million in production now. We got to start at the beginning. How many people do you have on your list? Realtors are the ones that give most of us the business. So, how many realtors do you have that you love on? I mean, I'm right there with you. I got my realtor list here every single day. It's on the top. It's right here. So, who are your realtors? How are you touching them? How many do you have? How many more do you need? And let's start at the basics. How much money do you want to make this year?
Mm,
And we break down how much money do you want to make? How many bips do you make? How many loans do you need to get? What's your conversion rate? A conversion from meaning fully disclosed loans to closed loans. And then you have to break down how many leads do you get or need in order to get those full applications. And how many conversations do you need to have? We break it down to the day. How many
mhm.
conversations? And basically, you need to have 10 conversations a day, no matter what, whether it's with a realtor, a borrower, a home inspector, a title company. You can put
Attorney, right,
yeah,
whatever.
attorney,
Hmm.
any financial planner, you need to have 10 conversations a day. If you're building relationships, putting yourself into your community, having 10 conversations a day, that will, no matter what, you're going to win. So we break it all down, and then we break it down into 5 funnels. Where are the 5 pieces of business that you're going to get it from? Is it realtors? Is it attorneys? Is it past client database? Is it social media? Where is it? Financial planners? Where is it? And then we break it down again into 5 more actionable items, high level leverage payoff activities. We have to do high leverage payoff activities. We can't just be busy.
So
You know,
for
for
instance,
instance, for instance, you're going to have a monthly lunch and learn with your realtors every month. You're going to send out a weekly did you know post, or you're going to send out videos to your realtors. Or you're going to make 50 calls a day to realtors and 50 calls a day to your past clients. You have to start somewhere. You're going to ask the realtors if they know anyone. So I was on your Friday call and I wrote down all the realtors who give me business. And you know what I'm going to do to this week? And I'm a seasoned loan officer. I'm going to call each and every one of those realtors and say, who do you know whose loan officer isn't performing and I would get along with them? Who do you know? Who do you know? So I'm going to ask them that and they're going to tell me, and I'm going to get more people to put on my touch list because I touch these every single week and every single month. So those are just high level payoff activities. Am I dropping things off? Am I sending a Starbucks card for a refer when you gave me a referral? You know, I don't do coffee appointments. Probably should, but don't. But I'm not saying that my loan officers wouldn't do that. So the loan officers who do the most business are the loan officers who are in their community and are talking to people and building relationships. One of my loan officers sends out a video to his sphere of influence every single day about mortgage,
Mm,
about a story, about anything, because as I said, there's a difference between marketing and branding. Branding makes people understand who you are and the way you feel. Marketing is a strategy.
mm,
So if people understand who you are, know, like, and trust you, they're going to use you. But if they don't know who you are, you're just another loan officer trying to get their business. So just sending that email, just pressing that button isn't going to make it happen. And years ago, I had a realtor of mine asked me why I went in to her office and I said, Linda, I would really like you to use me. And she said, why? And I said, because I'm really good. And she said, but why? So is everybody else. I said, well, I send you emails all the time. She said, so what?
mm,
And and she was hard on me. She was really hard on me. And I so loved it. I was in my 20s and I so loved it because she treated me with kindness, even though it was with criticism. And I will never send an email or try with to somebody I'm trying to get business from without a follow-up telephone call and without courting them. It was the biggest life lesson that a realtor could teach me, and I've gotten so many life lessons from realtors who have taught me how to be better, and and that's invaluable. So I would say, listening, that's how all loan officers do better is when they're actually listening to their clients.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. I love that she asked you that why question. You know what that did. I'm sure in the moment that was an incredibly uncomfortable moment.
Very.
But you know what? I like. So they tell me we don't grow muscles until somebody puts weight on our barbells. And she clunked two 200-pound pieces of iron right on your barbell in that moment. You know, but I bet you at the end of that call, you sat down and thought, all right, I need to come up with some whys here.
Well, it was even worse. It was in person. I remember the feeling of standing in her doorway back in the day when you would like go visit real estate offices and do the circle of shame. And I was standing there and she was a big agent. She was a whale and I really wanted her business. And I ended up getting her business in the long run. I ended up doing well, working it, visiting her, putting in the time. And then she gave me a deal. And I said, why did I deserve this? And she said, you put in your time, Sue. And I said, that's great. And I became an exclusive loan officer for her. And one of the things I will tell you, it does take time. I'm a total immediate gratification girl. 1000% immediate gratification in every way, shape, and form, except for him being over originator. When I looked at my list, I wanted to see who gave me the most business last year. When I look at my list, which everyone should look at, who you should track who gives you business, and you should look at who gave you business last year. Some of the agents have been my agents for a long time, but they took so long to get. They took so long to get. One was a friend of the kid, a big realtor, went through elementary school with my kid. When it went through elementary school, our kids went to elementary school together. I guess I should get that out of my mouth correctly. And I was like, why does she never use me? And here we are all in PTA together. And I'm like, why does she never use me? She must not like me, but she did like me. She talked to me. And finally, after our kids went through eighth grade, graduated, she started to give me business. But I was like tickling her, tapping her. Finally, she started to give me business. And now, 8 years later, she's one of my top agents. The same thing with another agent of mine. I just tried to get her business for decades. I mean, I'm going on decades now. I didn't originate from 2010 to 2019, did not originate one loan. And when I got back into the business, I had to tickle all these people and say, hey, now's the time. You need to give me business. And then it took a couple years and they started to give me business again.
You know what it sounds like, a kind of a common theme I'm hearing here is it just takes good old-fashioned elbow grease.
And perseverance. Yeah.
And there's no magic beans. There's no such thing as magic beans. It's just good old-fashioned, and I'm gonna say hard work. I don't know, it's not hard per se, but good old-fashioned hard
But you
work. And
have to make it fun. Like I like to make everything fun. So we're going to make things fun. People know when they come into a lunch and learn of mine, it's going to be fun. They're going to learn a lot. They're going to get some nuggets and it's going to be fun. So you have to have some sort of dynamic thing that's pulling people to you. Either it's a product, it's a personality, it's a educational thing. It has to be something. You need to find a little bit of your niche.
how often do you do these lunch and learns? You do them like once a
I,
month, once?
I do them every month, every 4 to 6 weeks. And
Okay.
they've really improved my business. I mean, most people did less business last year. I did 20% more business last year than I did the year before. And I think that it was because of the lunch and learns. They come in, I talk to them about a specific topic, either open houses. Maybe I have a podcast called Grab Your Keys. Maybe I have a podcast, a big realtor who does the podcast with me. Maybe we talk about homeowners insurance. That's a huge topic right now. Maybe we talk about, I have a attorney come in or appraiser come in. But the thing is, after the lunch and learns over, I asked the group of 20 realtors, what do they want to learn about? What do they want to hear? And then when you have them tell me and you do a topic that relates to them or that they want to know about social media, whatever it is, then I do that. And then they come because I'm giving them, educating them on something that they asked for.
Mhm. How many do you try to do in these lunch and learns as a big thing, or is it typically like a particular office that you're doing it just for that, or what does that look like?
We put it out into the Montgomery and Bucks County where I do business, and whoever registers, we also send out emails, we post about it. They all sign up. It's not one. I know what I love is it's not just one real estate office. It's Keller Williams, it's Compass, it's Homestar. They all get to come together, and it then ends up to be a little bit of a mastermind, which is so great to see what's working for some and what's not working for others. So on a so that's about 15 to 20 realtors that get together. I have quarterly events that have 50 to 100 realtors that come, that I talk about the National Association of Realtor settlement, or I talk to them about vision building and mindset. That was the last one we had. So they were the last two we had, and we had 50 to 100 people at both of those. You always have to ask for the business too. If this is interesting to you, or if your originator isn't giving you this information and you'd like to work with me, then I'd love you to text me right now at 215-704-9797 so that we can get you on the books to chat with you about your business. So you always have to do that at the same time.
Where do you hold these at? Or is that your office, a Star? Well, it was too big for a Starbucks. Like, where do you typically their office? Where do you hold them at?
So it could be at your office, but I usually do it at a restaurant. So there's a restaurant in our area that's not open for lunches. And I know the owner pretty well, very, very well. And I said, hey, you're not open for lunches, but your restaurant next door is there any way I can rent a room in the restaurant that's not opened or that I can just use the room? And for X amount, I think it's, $700 for 20 lunches. It's like, I don't even know, it's like $16 a lunch. Could I, pay you a flat amount
Mhm.
and people can choose three dishes, only three, like a salmon with Caesar salad, three dishes. The one waitress comes and drops all the salt, comes and drops everything off, and then we do the lunch and learn. It's not really inexpensive, but it's pretty inexpensive because I always get multiple deals from it. The second one, the bigger the quarterly event we have at a country club, and I don't need to rent the room. They've been so kind to me is that I don't need to rent the room. We just pay for a breakfast. Breakfast is really inexpensive. We literally have like eggs, yogurt, bagels, and that's it. And people come and we have round tables. They all sit at the round tables and they get a lot of value out of it and they really like it. The one we had a guest speaker come in, Julie came in and did a mastermind mindset vision boarding kind of thing, and it was to kick off the new year of what are your goals, because the realtors need our help. They don't they need the help to say what are your goals, how are you going to get to it, and then do the same cookbook that I do for my loan officers I do for realtors.
What's well, you got a lot going on in a good way. Like you have a lot of good stuff going on. What's one thing that this is an old classic question, but I always love hearing the answer to it. What's one thing you've learned that you wish you would have known, 20 years ago? Like if you could talk to Sue 20 years ago, what would you tell her?
That not everybody has to like me.
Mm,
It's okay. And it's better to know up front and get the toxic people out of your life fast.
mm.
And that's hard.
This that that's not just good business advice. That's good that's good home advice. It's funny you say that because um I can't tell you how many times I'll have a loan officer say something like, "Hey, well, I had this one agent and they said, or I had this one prospect and they said," and my first question is always, "Well, what did the other 29 say today? Like, how did that work?" And I think the simple solution to a lot of this, you know, is just go get more. And it sounds like that's what you're doing over at your shop is you're just constantly, whether it's a great month or whether it's a slow month, you're out there prospecting, 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 getting your loan officer to do the same thing.
Yeah, we all don't want to do it. I mean, nobody's like, oh, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to go prospect today. But when you have a great prospecting day, it's a great feeling. I mean, it's a wonderful feeling. And what we need to constantly remember is that we are helping people buy the biggest investment of their lives most of the time. That we've been blessed, like totally blessed to be able to do. And if you like doing it at the same time, which I love doing what I do, hey, how much better is that? That's just so amazing. And I try to instill that in both of my children. I have a 24-year-old and a 21-year-old, and they've been able to see me, you know, not think no think that it's wrong when everyone doesn't like me and
Mhm.
feel bad about that when I come home and then I'm making dinner and I'm in a bad mood with my family. Like I really wish when I had the six ring circus, which every working mom has, of, coming home, taking off the manager, taking off the loan originator hat, putting on the mom hat, you're frying up whatever you're frying up for dinner. And, you're like, God, I had a really bad day. So and so just didn't like me. And you do have that bad little devil talking to you when you could have the angel talking to you because you've helped so many people that day, but the little nasty one is the one that is the one bothering you and gnawing at you, and then you snap at the kids. you just need to lean in and let it go and know that there's plenty of other fish in the sea that will love doing business with you. And it's so funny how I've changed my business over the years in that I really only do business with people who I really like
Mm,
and are not going to yell at me, not going to get me in a bad mood, not because the people who talk to you nasty are never going to care about you.
mm,
And I wish I could have realized that when I had my children at younger ages, because
mm.
what happened at work really did affect me at home. And I guess you're older, you're wiser, but if that would not really caring what other people think about me. And sometimes I still do care, but I have to remember to let that go and go be around my tribe of people who really know, like, and trust me.
I think that's a special skill that I always give the example. Uh, Sue, you and I can we could be on stage and just give a killer presentation to say 100 people, and they're standing on their chairs and they're fist pumping, and man, that was awesome, that was amazing. And then you got two schmucks in the back of the room going boo, hiss, and for some strange reason, instead of paying attention to the 98, our eyes go right to the two.
Yeah,
And just learning to, what I'm hearing you say is just learning to turn that off
turn the
and
noise off. Yep.
yeah, focus on the 98 and just the other two. And I guess, I guess the secret to the game is exactly what you're doing is continually be out there prospecting, meeting with people. And so you have a lot to choose from. So you can be picky on who you work with because frankly, there's so many you create so many opportunities, not just for you but for the loan officers in your branch, that you can be picky. So good stuff, Sue. Hey, is there something I should have we're kind of here at the top of the hour. Is there something I should have asked you this today that I didn't, or you think we covered it all okay? Did I miss something?
Really covered a lot of things. I would say that, also if you need help, asking for help is super important and not just being on an island by yourself. I think that a lot of people today feel that they're on an island. That's why MMA helps people so much because they're not on an island, which is amazing. So kudos to you for what you do for our community. I absolutely love everything that you do. And I think that that really illustrates that people aren't on an island and that people can find their family and can find their tribe and really excel in this mortgage origination business because what we do for people is amazing and we're going to have great years here to come.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, and you do a great job, obviously, by the results of it. You do a great job on training your loan officers and running them through the training that you do. Because again, to have four of the top seven all from one branch is probably literally unheard of. Like literally. And so well done. Hey, if somebody's listening to this, want to reach out and contact you or ask some questions, or how did you convert? How do you get such a high conversion rate of your loan officers being top producers in the company? What's the best way for them to contact you, Sue?
So anyone can contact me. I'm all over social media. You can look me up on Instagram at Sue, Sue Meitner, Meitner, or you can find me at SueMeitner.com. All of my numbers are there. Slide in a DM, and I'd be more than happy to help you build your business in any way possible.
All right, and we'll be sure to put a link to that in the show notes. Oh, and one more thing. So you do a podcast also.
And you're going to be on.
Well, if the gatekeeper, she told me the gatekeeper told me I still have to fill out the application and
Oh, you're already there.
review. I'm up for review. So,
Yeah.
um, do you target? Is this targeted to real estate agents, to the consumer, to loan officers? Who's the basic target?
Yeah, so much to my marketing people's chagrin, I do not have an exact avatar. So, but we started Grab Your Keys, uh, which is the name of the podcast, a couple years ago. And we had lots of mortgage individuals talking about what their three keys to success are. And then I thought to myself, well, why are we just putting it as mortgage professionals? Why don't we start talking to other professionals? So we have law professionals on there, real estate professionals, and I just started a little thing called Conversations with Realtors, also within Grab Your Keys. So it's really about what are your three keys to success and how can we use those as nuggets to be successful in our own businesses.
All right, very good. So it's so I could just whatever platform I normally watch my
All
podcast,
platforms, Grab Your Keys with Sue Meitner.
grab your keys with Sue Meitner. Very good.
And as
Congratulations.
you know, it's hard to have a podcast for years and to keep on having great content. And, I'm really thrilled that you allowed me to be on your podcast. I feel very grateful to have you as a friend, and I appreciate you.
Well, I just absolutely adore you. I've been a fan, and yeah, we can sit here and have a love fest back and forth.
Yeah, we could.
You are you're a mover and a shaker, and it's very admirable what you've done. So grab your keys podcast, and then Sue Meitner, spelled Sue Meitner, Meitner.com.
Yes.
And again, we'll put that in the show notes here too. So Sue, I appreciate you, my friend, and
Thank
thanks for what you're doing.
thank you so much, Carl. Have a great day.